just to give you some idea about what happened and how this radar system and the radio system of US and UK military, they failed, how it was jammed, in fact. Let's talk about this. Two US Navy pilots, as we all know, were shot down over the Red Sea on Sunday in an apparent case of friendly fire. That's what they're calling it, a friendly fire. The US military said, marking the most serious incident to threaten troops in more than a year of the country targeting Yemen's Houthis. This happened when they were launching attacks on Houthis. They were using a lot of this aircraft, fighter jets, to target Houthis military installations in Yemen. And as we have all seen, how they're targeting two cities, primarily Sana'a and Hudaydah. Now, both pilots were rescued alive after ejecting from their stricken aircraft, with one suffering minor injuries. And these pilots are now being treated. The US military had conducted airstrikes targeting Yemen's Houthis at the time when this happened, though the military central command, also known as CENTCOM, did not elaborate on what their mission was. The whole thing surrounding this incident is so suspicious, to say the least. Why? Because this mission, what they were doing in Yemen, what they were doing in that part, why this aircraft carrier was there. So a lot of things that needs to be answered. But of course, they're not going to elaborate because of this friendly fire happened now. It is a huge embarrassment for them. The FA-18 shot down had just flown off the deck of the USS Harry S. Truman aircraft carrier, CENTCOM said. On 15th December, CENTCOM acknowledged that the Truman had entered the Middle East. So that happened on December 15th. So they are now re-entering into that area because they were here before, believe that was the beginning of this year, 2024. Now they're going back, but had not specified that the carrier and its battle group was in the Red Sea. So what really happened? So the guided missile cruiser USS Gettysburg, which is part of the USS Harry S. Truman carrier strike group, mistakenly fired on and hit the FA-18, quote unquote, CENTCOM said in a statement. From the military's description, the aircraft shot down was a two-seat FA-18 Super Hornet fighter jet assigned to the Red Rippers of Strike Fighter Squadron 11 out of Naval Air Station Oceana in Virginia. Now, it was not immediately clear how the Gettysburg could mistake an FA-18 for the enemy aircraft or missile, particularly as ships in a battle group remain linked by both radar and radio communication. Well, there is just one explanation to this, and that is that the radar system, the radio system, they were jammed. And obviously, US is not going to acknowledge it. They're not going to say to the media what exactly happened, because that will make them look weak and quite honestly very, very pathetic, because they're going after this group, Houthis, who wear sandals and carry guns on their shoulders, and they're spending millions of dollars to fight them. However, CENTCOM said that warships and aircraft earlier shot down multiple Houthi drones and an anti-ship cruise missile launched by the rebels. Incoming hostile fire from the Houthis has given sailors just seconds to make decisions in the past. Well, this is an excuse. It gives you just few seconds. Like, what about your technology, like the radar system and all of that thing? Are they failing just like your Iron Dome is failing, your THAAD missile system is failing in Israel, the Zionist state? Well, guess what? This is exactly what it looks like has happened. Since the Truman's arrival, means this particular ship that came to the Middle East, the U.S. has stepped up its airstrikes targeting the Houthis and their missile fire into the Red Sea and the surrounding area. However, the presence of an American warship group may spark renewed attacks from the rebels, like what the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower saw earlier this year. That deployment marked what the Navy described as its most intense combat since the Second World War. When Dwight Eisenhower was deployed, it was engaged in an intense war as was never seen since the Second World War. Can you imagine how intense it can get when you try to fight with the Houthis? On Saturday night and early Sunday, U.S. warplanes conducted airstrikes that shook Sana'a, the capital of Yemen, which the Houthis have held since 2014. CENTCOM described the strikes as targeting a, quote, missile storage facility and a command and control facility, end quote. Now, Houthis, they, made a statement that basically said that in both Sana'a and around the port city of Hodeida, there was really not much casualties, according to what we have heard from the Houthis. They are really brushing off any casualties. Something we have seen from the Zionist media. They always downplay the damage. In Sana'a's strikes appeared particularly targeted at a mountainside known to be home to military installations. The Houthis later acknowledged the aircraft being shot down in the Red Sea. The Houthis have targeted about 100 merchant vessels with missiles and drones since Israel-Hamas war in Gaza Strip started in October of 2023. The Houthis have seized one vessel and sunk two in a campaign that has also killed four sailors. Other missiles and drones have either been intercepted by separate US and European-led coalitions in the Red Sea or failed to reach their targets, which have also included Western military vessels. We have no confirmation either from United States, talking about what exactly happened. So the statements coming, they're very much vague. They're hiding a lot of information. They're not telling us why this friendly fire happened, and that obviously had these two pilots losing their aircraft. They ejected themselves. The radar system did not work properly. It could be that Houthis, because they're sending so many drones, and just following what Iran did or the Hezbollah group did with Israel, which is that sending way too many drones. Even Russia is adopting the same tactic in Ukraine. When you have too many drones and projectiles coming in and missiles, the radar system will get confused. It will be overwhelmed and it will not be able to detect which one is the enemy target and which one is not. I think this is exactly what has happened. Obviously, US is not telling us that it was their failure for which these two aircraft, the FA-18, was shot down by their own missile. They're not telling us the whole truth. Thank you guys for joining. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing.